Buzz Carrick, third degree Ryan Hollingshead and Michael Barrios worked the ball up the left wing in training. The 2nd of May 18, it was another overcast morning in Frisco for FC Dallas training on Wednesday, but any threat of rain was nothing more than that. Temp in the mid-70s for today's session as FCD tries to recover from the poor result in New York while preparing for Los Angeles this weekend. News and notes: if you missed it early this week, new homegrown Chris Richardson Academy up-and-comer Thomas Roberts are over in Germany training with Bayern Munich as part of FCD's partner agreement. Carlos Aviles is back in training after his stint with Mexico's U20 team. So 4 keepers in camp today. Francis Achuahin is missing today. FCD head coach Oscar Pareja says Achuahin's calf injury, as sometimes happens, developed into a small stress fracture. So FCD has shut him down until it mends, which shouldn't be too long. Speaking of Achuahin, I had a thought about how FCD will use the green card that was acquired by Michael Barrios. I didn't think my thought was worth a full blog post since it's speculation on what FCD might do, so I'm sticking it in here. You see, international roster spots don't attach to the player, that's why Barrios getting a card opens an international spot. So, FCD can recall either Emma Twumasi or Francis Achuahin at any time they want from OKC, slot one or the other into the open international roster spot, use whichever one for whatever interval they wish, and then send him back to OKC, thus freeing up the roster spot again. So FCD could activate either one to get some PT for him, then activate the other to get some PT, and still send both back if they need the international spot this summer for something else. In theory, we'll see what happens. Emma Twumasi and Jordan Cano are both here training with Dallas as usual and not with OKC. Paxton Paul-McGill stops by to watch some training again. He says he was doing some jumping, movement-type rehab stuff today. Mauro Cicero is also here again today watching some. I'm always glad to see that. Bonus player for next year, I look forward to seeing him in training later this season. Kellen Acosta is, without a doubt, 100% now. Maybe not 90 minutes game sharp, but he could clearly start if necessary and could easily go 30 to 45 minutes as a sub at maximum speed. Do remember though, 100% health isn't 100% peak World Cup level player form. That will take a little time. Minor Figueroa is back in training. The guy is so dang fit, he looks 100% back to me already. I was reminded today watching him how tactically sound he is. Today is his 35th birthday, so he got a post-training cake shower made up of flour, water, powdered milk mix, and liquid eggs poured on his head. It was a fun, team camaraderie moment. Jesus Ferreira is also back in full-speed training. Last week he was only doing small drills and was kept out of the big stuff. Ferreira looks really confident and his touch-if quite sharp. No signs of rust at all. He looks much more mature than last year and even than he did in February. Chris Reeves started out in training but took a knock on his back and went inside for evaluation. Training observations training started at 9 a.m. and after the warm-up, stretching, and fitness work, Josie Mabazin put the team into a 30-yard box, keep-away drill. 2 10-man teams, a point is scored by making 10 consecutive possession passes. Each game lasts 4 minutes, and they run it about 3 or 4 times. Then, this drill is modified to where each team is defending an end line. A point is scored by dribbling or passing from your own end to the opposite end. Same sort of 4-minute intervals of play. Again, this is about 15 to 20 minutes in total. Buzz Carrick, third degree Reggie Cannon, on the ball, looks for a teammate to build forward within FC Dallas training. The 2nd of May 18, for the final version, 2 full-size goals are added, 1 at each end, and it's now about 2/3 of a full field. This is a shortened field scrimmage in every way that matters. This last drill is about 30 minutes in total. Overall, I would say there isn't anything tactical going on. No new element is being brought in, no specific tactical element is being worked. Instead, I would say today is about getting back playing the way Pareja wants to play after the tiny field in New York. Working out the kinks, getting the mojo flowing, getting their game charged up for Los Angeles. As usual, Pareja works through multiple options in many positions. While the back four is entrenched these days, everything else is in constant battle now for PT. 4 guys for 2 spots in the holding midfield area: Jacori Hayes, Victor Ulloa, Kellen Acosta, and Carlos Grueso. Then the usual battle for the wings and forwards: Roland Lama, Santiago Mosquera, Michael Barrios, Tesho Akindele, Mauro Diaz, Christian Coleman, and Maxi Arruti. While most everyone did post-workout stretching, Mauro Diaz hit some corners and free kicks into the box for Jesus Ferreira, Ryan Hollingshead, and Brian Reynolds to work on finishing. Catching up with Oscar Parejo, it seemed like the game plan in New York was similar to New England. Let NYC have the ball and keep it tight in the middle. We plan to have, against a team that normally do that, have possession in the back and then they keep it and then try and expose you with players who are smart in the pocket. So our plan was to put some pressure on them in the certain moments. But especially when the midfielder comes that deep as Alexander Ring went in the first 35 minutes, we wanted to let them have it and some options in our counter. It seemed like they chose your central midfield as the pressure point and really tried to press them in corners and double down a lot. Would it be fair to say you guys maybe didn't deal really well with that in the middle of the field? It's fair to say that we gave away a couple playing out with our midfielders, especially when we were receiving the balls from a stat rebound or a second ball. The first one from Jacori Hayes, I thought was a terrible foul against him. The second one with Victor Ulloa, he was under pressure, they reacted to the loss of the ball with pressure and then we gave the ball back to them and they have a chance which they shot and hit the post. Other than that, you know what, I have reviewed the game and I think we did a lot of good things. Watched the game one felt there were one or two mistakes that cost you but that overall you played fairly well and within the game plan. It was just a couple mistakes. Correct. There were 3 mistakes on those goals. The goal in the PK, I'm still in pain with that but I've got to respect. And the final goal, the miscommunication between our 2 center backs, yeah it was very obvious. Other than that I agree with you, we had our chances. The second half we were much better getting, or creating, those options. And playing against a good team in the conditions that are difficult. Other than that we're moving on. We want to see if we can finally find the net, that will make us feel better. I know it's just Wednesday, but you seem to be testing some options again. Without being specific, can you talk about what you might be looking for in terms of building for Los Angeles? You see that, now we are exploring some other models within the week. Today is a perfect day for us to do it and see what is their reactions. Actually, it allows me to test some other players who are not in the regular lineup and it has created a lot of competitiveness within the group. It has given us different glimpses of a different game. I like that, I like that. Now the plan for Los Angeles is first for everybody to know how to neutralize their strengths. But actually knowing that we have fast people up front, you know, use them well. We have fast forwards and we need to design a lineup that can get the best out of this strength that we have. Watching Mauro Diaz the last couple of weeks in training, there is a little bit of liveliness there compared to earlier in the year. Do you think he's picked it up, stepped it up a little bit the last couple weeks? He has, yes, I think he has. He has come on lively in the game too in the last 2 games. I think he came clear and he's giving us options. I'm glad to say that Mauro has been working very well. I'm pleased that we can get the best of him. 3rd degree.